Hey, what's going on, guys? So the HG Witch from Mercury line is officially underway here with the Gundam Lfrith. It's a very cool kit. I highly recommend it to you guys, but let's go ahead and check it out in today's review. Alright guys, starting off taking a look at the box art for this. Beautiful box art design for this. Really loving how the boxes are looking for this new series. Now, the box art looks like this for the first couple of prologue kits. I'm not sure if they're going to continue the same box art style for the main series. I would assume it would be the same, possibly slightly different. But I love the almost kind of like watercolor paint style design going on here with this massive beam effect there, and there's all the beautiful little details going into the artwork here on the front. It looks fantastic. Here on the side of the box you can see this is number 01 in the line, and on the bottom of the box here's a look at a painted sample build of the kit showing some different poses here, some of the different gimmicks of the build, some different things that you can do with this, showing how the shield can be broken down into 7-bit staves that can be attached onto the backpack and the receiver gun. That's what that is right there. So really cool. And over here is an unpainted sample, so that's just what it's going to look like straight out of the box, which still looks pretty amazing, I gotta say. And on the top of the box, just the look at the painted build front and back. A little bit of introduction there to the prologue story, and with that we can pop open the box and get down to business. Now, as you can see, it's not a very thick box, so not a ton of stuff in here, but the color separation and details of everything does look really nice. So once again, Bandai able to do a lot with fairly little, but I mean there's a good amount of stuff in there. The same artwork here on the manual, which set against just that white background, does look really nice there. On the back side, some more photos of the kit, some artwork there, which is nice, and some more information. All the information here is in Japanese and in English, which is fantastic. So got some background information there, as well as our color guide. The color guide a little bit different now for these manuals. It's kind of set here along the side. Again, I'm guessing that's going to be the standard for the line going forward, but some pretty interesting, different, very small layout changes to the manual here, so it's nice to see something a little bit different. The parts list is here in color as well, and as you can see, we've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runners, and then a couple smaller runners, including the E parts. So we'll take a look at the runners here in just a minute. The manual starts off in color, and then it looks like it's not entirely black and white, it's in just grayscale with blue here on the inside. So if they're gonna do blue on the inside of the manual, then I don't know why they didn't just go for full color, but it is nice to see some color in there as well, especially pointing out just different things like for the order of how parts go together, and just to like highlight how certain parts fit together specifically. So it makes it, again, very beginner friendly. If you're not used to building model kits, they do make it really convenient for you. So first off, we do not have any poly caps with the kit, but we do have some foil stickers here. Some of them are just kind of your normal foil stickers, but these ones for going underneath the shell unit are unique in that they have printing on the bottom side. Let's see. So it looks like this is for the inactive version. Let's try our other sticker here. This one's for the active version, so you can see how that's going to look. So it's pretty cool, printed on this mirror finish. You do also have some clear blue Beam Saber effect parts here, SB13 for those. Runner A is going to be here in 4 colors, a light green part over here, a clear blue effect part right there, and then this main accent color, which is a very interesting fuchsia pink color. And then a kind of slightly clear gray up here. It looks like one part for the head and then one part for the chest, the inactive shell unit looks like. Runners B1 and B2 are going to be our weapons parts and also kind of our frame and joint parts here in a slightly bluish gray color. And runner C and D are going to be all of our white parts, which is in a slightly off-white. It's not a super pure white color, but almost that. All the details on here do look really nice and crisp though, so even without painting, it should look like it's going to catch the light really nicely, that even if you don't do like panel lining on it, you can still see the details pretty nicely on there. And lastly, runner E here is in its own separate little bag, and this is the pre-printed, or I guess as they're calling it, in-molded decoration here. So it's basically like you have that design that's already molded in with the plastic there. Pretty interesting indeed, and it looks fantastic, so I can't wait to see how this is going to look on the kit. Alright guys, here's the kit all built up, and if you didn't see the live stream build of this, you can go back and check that out if you're interested, but this was a lot of fun to build. Very quick, very simple build. It really reminds me of the fine build system that we've seen in different recent HG kits like the Leo, the Maganak type of kits. Sort of similar to like the 30 minutes missions kits, just in its sheer simplicity. But as you guys can see there, it does have a lot of really great detail and a really cool design, so let's go ahead and check it out. We'll start off just by taking a look at the stickers, as there's not too many of them. Here in the head, head, you have stickers for the eyes and the head camera, but that is a separate green piece. So if you do plan on painting that or don't want to use the stickers, it's just a solid green piece. I just put the stickers on because the stickers do catch the light really nicely, those foil stickers. If you are planning on painting the kit and you wanted to paint those in like a more shiny metallic color, that is separated very nicely for you. So you have this really cool clear piece there at the front. Around here on the back, that sticker is just a plain white piece there, so there's no separate part there for that, so you'll have to paint that either by masking or hand painting or whatever separately. It's not a separated piece, unfortunately. Here in the front of the chest, we have these black and green stickers right there that make for these kind of like owl looking eyes there in the front of the chest. I mentioned during the live stream that it makes the center part here look a bit like a beak. Kind of reminds me of like an owl. And then down here on the knees, on these little pink parts here right on the side of the knees, those are stickers, but otherwise that's really about it. Then we do have our chest piece, which looks fantastic. Now this is the in mold piece. Here is the piece that you get. You have an optional just plain clear piece that you can stick the double-sided sticker onto. I'll show you guys that, and it is pretty easy to change. Now with the stickers, you do also have a sticker option to use with this piece that makes it look inactive. And that probably would be the better use of this if you wanted to use this piece and use the sticker. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using this sticker that I have on there because, as you can see, the in-molded piece just looks so much brighter and nicer. It's just a much more dull effect using the two-sided sticker there on the back side of the clear piece. I'm gonna stick with that one because that's what looks the best. As far as the rest of the details go on this kit, like I said, it is very simple in its construction, but it does do the job really well of just carrying a lot of details in there. Very few seam lines on this really, so it is going to be a kit that is going to be very easy and very friendly for beginner painters. It is one that is really nicely color separated. So like I mentioned, with the separate part for the eyes and head camera, you also have that separate gray part inside there for the head at the front, and then the Vulcans up there at the top. Just all this really nice color separation that you have going around with this kit. It does really remind me a lot of, like I said, the fine build system, or even like the entry grade kits, how even though they're so simple in their design, they do have some pretty nice color separation in them now. As far as the articulation goes, it's mostly pretty good. So you have the head will go all the way up to there, down to there, that's fine. In the midsection here, we have a pretty good ab crunch forward. Not too bad. You do have some side-to-side movement here as well, which is pretty nice, and then some rotation basically right at the center here between the torso and the hip section right there, that small little area. Shoulders will swing out to the front like that, which is pretty nice, and as you can see, the shoulder armor is just on a C-clip there. That will allow the shoulder armor to move all the way up. This little shield bit here on the side can also have a little bit of movement up and down like so. Ultimately, you can bring the arm up almost entirely vertical, which is very nice for the upward mobility of the arm. The arm will rotate there at the top, which is pretty normal as well, but the elbow joint, unfortunately, is just a single joint. Now, you do get a pretty full bend out of that. It's not like a full 180 degrees. If it was a double joint, it probably could have come up a little bit higher. But for just being a single joint, normally that would be a little bit disappointing, but you do get pretty good range of movement out of that, so that's fine. The wrist is just as normal on a ball joint. There's no skirt armor really to speak of, except for this little bit here at the back, which is just fixed in place there, but I do really like this whole hip section here, like how the leg plugs into here. It just makes for some pretty nice detail around in a section of the build where normally it's pretty plain and not really having much detail in any kind of typical Gundam kit. Up underneath the skirts, there's usually not really a whole lot going on, but this one is pretty nicely detailed up in there. So you can bring the legs out to about this far before this part's going to be getting in the way of any further outward mobility. Forward and back though, you're not going to have any issues with that. When you bend the knee, you do have a double joint here, so that's pretty nice, and you get some separation of this like thruster that sticks out at the front of the knee. This little flap here that covers that knee thruster will also move up and down, so you can move that down when this is extended. Going around back to the back here, this thruster sticking out of the back of the thigh doesn't move, that's just fixed in place there like that, but as you can see, some nice detail around here, like on the back of the knee joint. Going down here to the ankles, you have some pretty nice range of movement forward and back. This little piece of armor here on the front, you can move that around a little bit. It's just attached via a small little ball joint there. Both the front and the back can be rotated side to side separately, very similar to like the HD Armblood Orphans kits, so you should be able to get a pretty wide stance out of that while keeping the feet flat on the ground. Up underneath the feet, you will have a little bit of hollow gaps. It's like a half detail, half hollow around in here. And again, everything, the way that this all goes together, seems to be very friendly for if you want to paint it and not have to worry about anything going together. So like everything's all C-clips in here, so you should have a very easy time painting it. Now around here on the backpack, a lot of this stuff will move. I don't really like how this backpack looks without anything attached onto it. It just looks kind of very weird and empty. You don't have to have that on there, you can go without, and it just has the standard 2-peg adapter system here. So any number of many different HG and 30 minutes mission style backpacks, there's a lot of different backpack options you could use with this very easily. Thanks to that, the main reason for this backpack is just going to be holding the gun bits, and it also holds your beam saber handles on here, so those are pretty simple, just a single piece. You have your 2 clear blue effect parts for those, which look pretty nice. Clear blue is a nice change rather than the typical clear pink, so it's something different, I like that. And then we've got the receiver gun, which also has a little sticker on there for the camera, but overall it's pretty simple. It is made up of a few different pieces, and it does open up like this. That's basically for its different forms. You can take this clear blue effect part, which again also looks very nice, open that up so that you can pop this into place a little bit easier, and then close that back like that. That makes for a pretty cool effect, what we can see there on the box art like that. But that can also hold one of the parts of the shield. So here's the shield, which is quite large, and you'll see this in a moment like equipped on the Gundam, but it's about the same size as the Gundam itself. Basically like this big flat white surfboard. It's pretty cool looking though. I do really like just how detailed it looks. It is looking really nice. I think this is going to look really awesome once it's all painted, and I've seen a number of different painted examples of this already, but this breaks into a number of different pieces here. Basically here on the side, this piece will come off. You got 2 pieces on each side, and then this main center section also is 3 pieces like that. So even if you have it all taken apart, you can still attach this small piece on here for a small little shield, and all the rest of the pieces all attach onto the backpack, of course. But this piece can also be attached into the rifle like this for making it the full Gundam rifle, which is definitely looking pretty cool. But there you have it, guys. That is the very first kit in our new Witch From Mercury series line of HG kits, which I'm sure we'll have plenty more kits to go through in the future, and it'll be interesting to see how certain design elements of this kit, if they do seem to be the norm for all the rest of the kits coming out down the line, or if it is going to kind of change maybe a little bit as it goes along. But it does seem to me what we can probably expect for the rest of the line is that it's all going to be very similar to this kit, in that it's going to be a very quick assembly, very simple construction, but very nicely detailed, very nicely articulated, and very, I don't want to say like too heavy on the gimmicks, but it definitely, especially this one, any kit that has this sort of system where, similar with the aerial, how the shield bits can kind of, the Gundam bits disattach and kind of can be reattached and reformed in different ways. It's a very interesting gimmick, and it's something that I think we'll probably see in a number of kits, but not necessarily every kit in the line. So the sheer amount of gimmicks, I'm sure we'll see some variation with that, but they work well with this one. I think this is a kit that I would definitely probably recommend getting 2 of. I think the best look for this, which unfortunately I don't have 2, I just only have the 1, but what I would love to do with mine is to have the full shield, but then also have all the Gundam bits attached onto the backpack and everything as well, sort of to kind of give it, I guess, the sort of full armor sort of look. But basically just 2 sets of the Gundam bits is what I would like for my kit. And with these kits being very fairly priced, it's definitely not going to break the bank or anything if you did want to pick up 2 of them so that you could mix and match the parts a little bit, and then mixing and matching with other kits that will be coming out further on down the line. And although I haven't really talked too much about it, I just gotta say, overall the design is really cool. I do really love the design of this, not having your typical Gundam style V-fin, but just kind of the bunny ears on the side of the head makes for a really cool look for this. The proportions are pretty cool. It's definitely a little bit more bulky in the upper body than kind of what I was expecting, just based off of the art and images we've seen. But once I actually have it built up, I realized just kind of how much more bulky it is in the upper body, but I do really like the proportions and everything of this. And while I don't think that there's anything really too mind-blowing about this kit, it definitely is a really great first impression for the line, and I am very excited about building some more kits in the line. There wasn't anything about this that let me down at all. The only thing that I think they could have added to this would maybe be some sort of system, like including a stand that has like a special stand parts that you can actually display, like all the Gundam bits flying around, sort of similar like what we're gonna see with the Robot Damashi anime version of the Gundam Aerial, which is gonna be coming out later on. Hopefully that's something that they end up making on later on, some sort of special stand that you can get that you can use with your Witch From Mercury kits to be able to display all the Gundam bits and everything. I'm not sure if that's something that will be very easy for them to come out with all the Gundam bits kind of being all differently shaped, but hopefully that's something that they can come out with. I think that would be very cool for display purposes. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about this very first kit out in the line? Are you excited? What do you think about the upcoming kits in the line? And of course, if you're interested in checking out any of these kits, pre-ordering any of them for yourself, you can check out the link down below to USA Gundam Store. We got all that and obviously a bunch more different Gundam stuff and everything else for you guys there. So check the link to USA Gundam Store down there in the description. Thank you all so much for checking out the video today. If you'd also like to like and or subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. But until next time, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.